Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Something is wrong here. It is not correct here. I don't know why. Just a minute. Huh? Good evening, friends.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Let's start the day. Let's start the session. As usual, we will start with a prayer to the motherland. Those of you who can stand up, please do. Others can mute their video.
कोटि कोटि भुजै धृत खर करवाले अबला केनु मारत बोले बहुबलधारिणी नमामि तारिणी त्रिपुदलवारिणी मातरं वन्दे मातरम् तुमि विद्या तुमि धर्म तुमि रिधि तुमि मर्मा त्वं हि प्राणाः शरीरे बाहुते तुमि मा शक्ति हृदये तुमि मा भक्ति तुम्हारी प्रतिमा गणि मंदिरे मंदिरे वन्दे मातरम् त्वं हि दुर्गा दश प्रहरण धारिणी कमला कमलदल विहारिणी वाणी विद्यादायिनी नमामि त्वां नमामि कमला ममला अतुला सुजला सुफला मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् श्यामलां सरलां सुस्मितां भूषितां धरणीं भरणीं मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम्
भारत माता की जय.
Just a minute. There's something wrong with this screen. Now is my screen clear, Anilji?
No, we can't see, sir. We can't see.
There's only one orange entire
Yeah.
screen.
But that is clear. Now full screen is there. Now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
full
very-
screen is there.
Only
Very
orange.
clean.
Full
color.
orange screen is there.
Very clear. Orange is, now it is very good. Now very good.
Okay.
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा।
Intention drives energy. Let us create the intention within us to attain the highest possible level of expertise in whatever we do. And Lord Ganesha, may he guide us in achieving it by removing all the obstacles. Talking about obstacles brings us to the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that we are kept from our goal not by obstacles, but by a clearer path to a lesser goal. Let us not get distracted by a clearer path to a lesser goal. Let us focus on the highest possible goal and move on relentlessly. Friends, we have completed 6 sessions of personal branding. We have completed the brand identity. Brand identity means we started with the anchor statement, moved on to the unique value proposition that we offer to the people. We analyze the tone and temperament, that is our personality, whether we were an achiever or an agreeable or what sort of a person we are. From there, we went on to the type of energy we bring to the transaction. What is unique about the energy that we bring to the transaction? Are we a fixer? Are we a facilitator? Are we a visionary? Are we a motivator? What is it we do? What defines the type of work that we do? From there, we moved on to one of the most important things by which everyone drives their brand. That is a signature story. We saw how to write one signature story, but you will have to prepare a number of signature stories for the context, for the situation, for the group of people with whom you're going to be interacting, so that you can message what you stand for, the various aspects of your brand that you can, message. You'll have to create stories accordingly. Then what sort of a signature service that you offer to the world? This is very important for you to decide where you are going to spend your time. What sort of people you are going to be spending your time with. And above all, if you have a choice in front of you of many things to do, what are you going to give priority to? Oftentimes, not being very clear in our mind, we end up giving priority to things which are not really worth it. And then we rue ourselves. And when we give priority to something for which we are not meant to, then we give a wrong signal to the world. So the signature service. This was followed by 14 various points which you analyze to understand which of them were your strengths, which of them were your weaknesses, which of them pose a threat to you, your brand, and which are the ones which offered an opportunity. These are done on real time at this moment. Down the line, as things evolve, you'll have to see whether they are going to become a strength, can become a weakness can become a strength, how to leverage it. For that, we had done another exercise called analyzing the reducers, the enhancers, the threats, and the opportunities. I assume you have a fairly good idea about what you really are. With this, armed with this, let us see what we have to do. What we have to do is we have to define our ecosystem. What's your number one personal asset? Your number one personal asset is not your skill, not your job, not your ambition, your looks, your mind, none of the above. Your greatest asset is your personal ecosystem, the people who constitute your universe, which I call the catchment area. Who we know and how we connect with the people in a personal ecosystem provide the strongest foundation and advantages in our life and business. You know, at one time I was asked, what is the biggest advantage of studying in the so-called Ivy League colleges like Harvard or Stanford or MIT, Yale, Wharton, Cambridge, Oxford? What is the biggest advantage of studying here? Can any one of you tell me?
The alumni?
The brand value.
Absolutely. Bang on target. The biggest advantage of studying in these places is the alumni. The network that you can create, the type of friends you make, the contacts you generate, these are the biggest advantages that you can have by studying in these places. Ultimately, how good a student you are determines how much you learn. Where you learn them determines what sort of an ecosystem you are creating for yourself. The lakhs and lakhs of rupees that your parents pay for their awards to go and study in these colleges is for no other reason but the alumni and the contacts these people are going to establish during that period. So the ecosystem is extremely important. It starts with you. Can you see the word you? Can you see it? I'm sincerely asking.
No.
Huh?
It's more of a V.
It is a triangle.
The word you is not visible, isn't it?
It is not visible.
That is why there is something wrong in the system today. Okay. You are at the bottom of the triangle, inverted triangle. From here starts your ecosystem. Just a minute.
You'll have to change the resolution of the screen.
Huh?
Change the resolution of the screen.
ये कैसे करना है मुझे नहीं मालूम. That is a
Desktop पे जाकर right click करना है.
हाँ.
And when you click, then the screen resolution will come. Then make it to the lowest one.
Okay. Just a minute.
You will get display setting.
Maybe metaphorically speaking, that you is, for many, it is invisible.
In this,
landscape display orientation.
Just a minute, कुछ तो गड़बड़ हुआ है इसमें. Please wait, just a minute.
I think for a moment it was visible. Actually, I think when you were in the slides mode, not in the presentation mode, that time everything was good.
अच्छा,
Yeah, my guess. So, I mean, for a moment, actually, it showed up like that.
now is the screen visible?
It's totally blank now, white.
White है, but लेकिन full screen है कि नहीं?
Full
Beside में
landscape.
black है क्या?
Yeah, landscape है, full है. Full landscape.
Okay, no.
Yes, now it is fine.
Yes, now we can see half of you.
We can see the U at least partially, I think, down below.
Yes. नहीं, क्योंकि वो नीचे जब आएगा तब ठीक से नहीं रहेगा तो फिर मुश्किल हो जाएगी. Let me see.
Sir, if I may suggest you, please given the host rights to someone and then re-log in, sir.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Just give me 2 minutes.
Sure.
As you said, what I will do is I'll give you the host rights first because something goes wrong. I'll make you a co-host.
So make host. If you make the co-host, then if you log out, then the system goes off.
Okay, then I'll make you the host. You make me the co-host then.
Okay. Now
Okay.
I co-host or you log in.
You are the host.
Are you logging off and logging in again?
Yes, I'll.
That would be better, sir.
Suma, can you give me the co-host? Then I will be
I've
able
done
to
it
screen
already,
share.
sir.
Thank you.
I've done it already.
Thank you. Yeah, as I was telling, your ecosystem is the most important asset that any of you can have. And all these things, the brand identity which you have created, the purpose is to convey it to the ecosystem. To help you think big, you need to create a perpetual motion machine of ideas, energy, and relationships to achieve your goals. But before that, let us see how this ecosystem is divided into various parts. It starts with you. Is it clear now?
Yes, very much.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So it starts with you. You are at the center of the ecosystem. Imagine yourself to be at the center of an ever-increasing circle of influence. All around you comes the first circle, that is your partners. Those who are immediately closest to you. Beyond them come your key clients. They are the second most important people, circle of influence for you. Third are those who are complementing both these people. The fifth circle is the professional organizations which you are influencing. The organizations per se, for instance, let us say that anyone who
Like a
Yeah.
CA Institute.
okay, so let us say you are a chartered accountant. Rajalakshmi Madam is the person for whom we are looking at the circle of influence. Who are the people immediately next to you, Rajalakshmi Ma'am, who you need to convey your message to? That what you stand for. Who are the people?
With reference to partners, I don't have any partners. It's a self.
You just tell me now, first, who is the first circle of your influence? Who are you constantly dealing with every day?
Clients.
Clients we will be dealing with.
Not exactly clients.
Okay.
There must be something in the client, somebody from the client who you are dealing with.
The people who are in the finance head.
Okay, so those people, the first thing is, those people in your office
Your employees.
who are closest to you, who are handling all your confidential information, they form the first circle.
Okay.
They form your first circle because it is to them you are going to be, through them only you are going to be reaching out to the world.
Okay.
And when you say the clients, in the client, there will be specific people through whom you will be operating. Maybe a junior level accounts manager. He need not be the head of that department. He could be anybody with whom you are constantly in touch to drive your, auditing or the services that you are giving to that organization. Many a time, we think that the managing director is the person next. No, he might not be anywhere near you. Because who is going to go and convey to the organization who you are? It is these people with whom you regularly work. They are the key clients for you. It is they to whom you have to convey the message that you stand for integrity. Who is directly affected by the service you are giving? It is they who are directly affected by the service you are giving, not the managing director. The managing director will inform you today, ABC consultant auditor have told that they will conduct the audit. Please see to it that everything is okay. Now, who is it who is going to be directly affected by the interaction with you? They are your key clients. And who are the complementary service firms? The complementary service firms are those people through whom they will be working with you. That is your second line in the office. You have got a first line with whom you directly work. They get that job done through a second line, and this second line is common to both you as well as to your key clients. Are you understanding what I'm telling? Are you people understanding what I'm telling? Any confusion here?
Is it like this? Some people are in corporate headquarters and then some people are in field.
Let me tell you, let me see. It is not, it is something very simple. Let us say Vinod. He is the zonal sales manager. He has got a team of people under him. Who is, suppose, let us say he is in the branch office in Chennai. Who are his immediate partners?
My regional managers and ABMs.
So, who are these regional managers and ABMs going to be interacting with?
The representatives.
No, they'll be interacting with your secretary in the office. So your secretary forms your immediate partner here at Chennai. Who is your immediate partner in head office?
The secretary of my boss.
Correct. Now you got it correctly. The secretary of your boss. You will not be directly dealing with your boss. Now, who is your key client?
The secretary of my boss.
No, your boss. In head office, your boss is your key client, and in the field, your regional managers are your key client.
Key clients, okay.
With whom you will be working through your secretary. Are you understanding now what I'm telling? Because who is going to convey what type of a person we know this? Who is going to convey to your boss what type of a person we know this? The secretary with whom you will be interacting will only be conveying. Similarly, from whom will they take appointment to meet you? Who will handle your regional managers directly? Your secretary will be handling your regional managers directly, not you. So who do you need to influence first?
My secretary.
Because if your secretary, see where the mistake happens. We think our secretaries, we don't give adequate importance to maintaining an image with them. We will do loose talk in front of them. You will tell your secretary, hey, listen, my wife is calling. I have to go to the market. So I am going today half an hour early. And what will happen is, and you will be giving a big lecture to your subordinate on not compromising on the official duty for a domestic purpose. Does that happen or not? Huh? Now, what is the message the secretary is getting? And when they will gossip, what is the message your regional manager will get about you? Now, what happens to your message? What happens to your image now? Tell me.
It will get diluted.
It will get totally smashed because your first line of influence. Now what happens? See, you go to HR head office. Many a time this must have happened with many people. They go to their head office. They will go and talk very sweetly to their secretary and tell all sorts of things which are not necessary. And what will that secretary do after you have left?
Everything will go to the ear of the boss.
And now what will happen to your image?
Image will become zero.
You will go and tell the secretary, life has become miserable, I say. Every month and, horrible. And then you will go and tell inside, sit in front of your boss and tell, don't worry, boss, I will take care of it. Has this happened, Vinod?
Sure.
Now you come out, secretary will go in and smilingly say, a guy was cribbing, you're making his life miserable. Don't be so tough on him. What is the message boss is getting?
I'm giving a false appearance before him.
That's all. See, this is the reason, why understanding the circle of influence is very important.
Which means
just calculate like this, how far the people are. How many steps are required to move? Who is your immediate circle of influence? Who is the second circle of influence? Who is the third circle of influence? Who is the fourth circle of influence? Once you keep moving like this, you will know how to ensure that your brand identity is driven.
So, which means, can I ask you one thing here, sir?
Yes, sure, Sanjay.
Sir, which means ecosystem is something like what you call it as the brand image.
Brand image is what the people think you are.
Which means the
We will come to that. You see, brand identity, brand image are two terms.
Correct.
Brand identity is what you want the world to think you are.
Yes.
If you don't manage your ecosystem correctly, your brand identity will collapse. What will be created is a brand image. That is, the people will brand you. For instance, let us say here is a person who is very clear about his ecosystem, the circle of influence. He walks into office, goes to his boss's secretary, talks to her, tells her, hello, madam, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So what time is my appointment with Mr. XYZ? She'll say this time, thank you. So I've got half an hour more to prepare myself to put in front of him the exact picture of what exactly has been happened. Now, when you are talking like this, what is this? There's all likelihood that she might also, how was last month? You're very good. Fortunately, we could implement whatever we have planned during our last meeting with Mr. XYZ. And, we have been able to achieve our budgets. And I'm very hopeful that this month also we will be able to do it. You talk this much, move away. Then you go inside. You go to the second line, your key client, and you talk to him and you convey the same thing. You come away. Now, when your key client will talk to your partner, what is the message they are getting?
Congruent message.
Yeah.
Congruent message. Exactly what you have told here has been told there. So now what is the identity you wanted to project? You wanted to project an identity of a person who takes discussions seriously, goes and implements whatever has been planned and generates the results, comes confidently, looking forward to a new set of instructions to go and implement. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Will this not create a sense of comfort in the mind of your boss? Next time he has an important assignment or he wants to promote someone, who will he go to?
So basically the identity and the image have to be congruent. The brand
identity should become the image.
Image. Okay.
That means what you want to project is what the people should see.
Okay. Yes.
Now just imagine the same thing. This guy goes to the office, walks up to her, chit-chat, hello, madam, how are you? How are the children at home? And all this thing. And then she asks, so how was last month? Arey, don't say, Papa. Really it was hell. Somehow at the last moment, I had to fall at everybody's feet and get the business. God knows what I am going to do today. God knows how we are going to handle this month. Now, definitely boss is going to, again, give some ideas. I am wondering where to look. Plus this product was not there. That stock was not there. This problem was there. All these things he says and goes inside. There he makes loud promises. Boss, don't worry. I am there for you. As is usual, they talk. They come back. Now this lady goes. What happens? There'll be chaos. She will go and tell his life was miserable. He had to fall at everybody. All the things he has told, she will convey to him. Now what will happen? Within 15 minutes of an objective being taken by you, you have created a question mark in the mind of the person who has given the objective to you. He will start hedging his bets. He will start making arrangements. See, okay, so last month, so much of overselling has happened. So this month, the likelihood of this coming down is so much. So let me see what can be done. Who I can depend upon. In the ultimate analysis, remember one thing. Whatever your performance is, good, bad, ugly, that will be forgotten in time. But what will remain is how you made your boss feel with your performance. That will remain. If you are going to make him feel uncomfortable, then your image is gone. You are finished. So you see, understanding the various levels, don't make the mistake by thinking that all these are same. Each one is separated one step away. So now, who the key clients, complementary firms are the departments. In the case of an employee, it is the various departments. In the case of a consultant or a business person, it is the firms whom the key client is representing. Then you come to the organizations. The professional organizations are the set of organizations which constitute the ecosystem in which you are going to be operating. These organizations might be, for instance, Vinod, what are the professional organizations for you?
The OPPA, the IDMAs, and the
No, the various other companies who have got the same type of product basket that you have got. Because how you perform here will only be conveyed to that place, isn't it, in the competitor reports? So let us say Suma is a startup specialist. So what are the organizations who will constitute her group, ecosystem? All the startups. How she is working with one startup will decide how the other startups will view her. Pooja is a specialist in MSME. So what other MSMEs of that same nature? These professional organizations form the thing. Then comes the media. The media is the mode by which this message is going to travel. How is the message going to travel in your case, Vinod?
when interacting with other companies, executives.
Distributors, stockists, retailers, they are your media for carrying your message. Isn't it? In the case of startups or in the case of MSME organizations, startup organizations, groups, they are the people where you will have to plant the information, plant your brand identity. If it is in the, office, where?
The secretaries again will be given
Grapevine. What is the medium? The so-called peons, the file shifters, the filers, the canteen. These are the area. These are the media. They are the carriers of the information.
Basically, the grapevine.
The grapevine. You will have, you see, that is why I said, Sanjay, understanding your ecosystem is very important. How is office politics played?
Yes.
Huh?
Drivers also.
Office politics is played by grapevine management. So you see, the media, how you are, see, you will have to find out in your particular ecosystem what is the means by which message spreads. Who are the carriers? Now you will have to take extra precaution to ensure that these people are given the correct identity that you want them to carry. Many a time I'm telling, that is why I said now that, pain is a must. You can have the pain of discipline or the pain of disappointment. If you are not going to be disciplined, then you are going to face a lot of disappointment. And I'm telling you, reputations are made or marked by one single wrong word. The higher you reach, the more careful you have to be. You simply cannot have loose talk in an organization. I'm telling you, I've seen many people's career being ruined because they did not know what to talk when. They will talk. I'll give you one simple example, media. Can you give me one very good example of a media of which we are, all of us, I can tell you, all of us, without exception here, to blame? Housemaids and drivers. How many of you control your tongue when the housemaid or the driver is around?
Drivers are very dangerous.
They are a top-class media. You want to know what is happening in your boss's house? Tap the driver. He will tell you. What the relationship between the husband and wife is, he will tell you point by point.
Yes, sir.
You see, this is a very dangerous media. Sitting in a car, talking anything and everything. The housemaid is cleaning. She is, tending to the kitchen sink. In the hall, all sorts of discussions are taking place. Then what will be your brand image? The image will be bad. You will never be able to establish your identity. That brings us to potential clients. Who are your potential clients? Have a list of them. Have a strategy for them. Acquaintances. Acquaintances can become great people to work with. Develop it. The universe behind the acquaintances, that is a huge catchment. Remember one thing, every individual has a universe. Tell me, Anilji, how many people do you know in this world?
Here in my town?
Anywhere?
I know almost 5,000 people.
So 5,000. That means because I know you, I can now reach 5,000 people through you.
Yes.
That is what is the universe behind the acquaintance. And then you have got the public. Those about whom you are not yet aware, where you can create an awareness. So the first thing that each one of you need to do is create this circle of influence. Who are the people who are immediate? Leave alone your, even at home, I'm telling you. Supposing, let us say, I am giving a program. Okay. My first son will send that program, poster to his friends. My second son will not. That means he does not come under my immediate circle of influence. So are you understanding what I'm telling?
Yes, sir.
Just because somebody is your son, he need not be under your immediate circle of influence. My brother-in-law's son, he is very helpful. He will share and then he will send me articles, he will send me reviews of the programs which I have done. All these things he will do. He is in the US. He will do all these things. He will keep in constant touch with my consultants and everything, and then come up with the competitors, what they are doing. Those details he will send. Now, he is more close to me as my area of influence than my second son, who is also in the US, who says, Dad, I cannot do all these things. Matter ends there. So you see, even within your near and dear ones, you should know who are within your immediate partnership frame, who are beyond that. Once you create that, then it will be easier for you to understand very clearly how to move. Yes, Mukeshji, you want to ask something?
No, thanks, sir.
Can you relate to what I'm telling, Mr. Mukesh?
Hello.
Can you relate to what I'm telling?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions in this, or can we move forward?
No. No, it's fine, sir. It's fine.
Can you go back to the slide? Yes. Sir, Rehan here.
Yes, Rehan. You missed is it?
Sir, active tenses, I couldn't understand, sir.
No issues, Rehan. What I will do is, tomorrow morning when you talk to me, I will explain this to you in person.
Sure,
otherwise,
sir.
We will keep on going back and forth.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. This is your path of communication. This is how you understand. This is how you move forward with your immediate partners, then to your key clients, then to your complementary firms, professional organizations, media. You keep moving forward. And the reference comes from the top. How the ecosystem works? The ecosystem works through 6 methodologies. The first is the spheres of influence that I was talking to you about. Consists of spheres of influence that create perceptions about your brand. It identifies the path of reference checking and the path of communication. For instance, your second line of influence, that is your key clients, who will they check for reference? Who will they check? Not understanding? Any difficulty is there?
Can you please repeat the question?
You see the path of reference checking. For instance, your key clients are there. Who are your key clients? Your key clients are the second line of influence, isn't it? The second line of sphere of influence are the key clients, correct?
Correct.
First is your partners. Second is your key clients. Now, these key clients, who will they check for reference?
Partners.
Correct. They will come towards you. That means your key clients will check with your partners whether their understanding of what you are is correct or not. So, it moves down. The public will go to the acquaintance universe behind you. The universe of acquaintance will come to the acquaintance. Like that, it will keep moving forward towards you, the sphere of influence. Now you might be wondering, so how do you go about managing this sphere of influence? You apply the 90-10 rule. A small number of people within these universe will have the highest amount of influence. You should know on which basket to put the eggs. Let us say your immediate sphere consists of 10 people. What should you do? Let us say that I've got an immediate partner group of 10 people. Now what should I do?
Maybe 1% or 2% are important.
Correct. This is what is called the coterie, the caucus. Out of the 10 people, 2 of them will be very important and they will drive the agenda within this 10. It is how well you manage these 2 will decide how the 10 get managed. Don't worry. It is a bit, tricky, but it will be done because we will show you how it is done. The
Sir,
third
sorry.
Huh?
You said a word called as coterie something.
Yeah, what do you call it? The very close circle of people, who are advisors.
Your own darbar.
Yes, your darbar.
Okay.
No, we have seen, sir, in any organization when there is a GM, general manager, and if he has 50 people, 1 or 2 people will be always around him, his table. So he'll
They
be
might
sharing.
they might not be the partners, mind you.
No, they may not be.
No.
He'll be sharing everything with them.
Apparently.
So which means this is the informal subjective channel, these 2 people in the coterie.
Absolutely. See, Sanjay,
And,
please
what I think that the
understand one
person-
thing.
Yeah.
Sanjay, you understand one thing. Man is a political animal.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And you will have to play politics in this world if you want to survive. If you don't know how to do it, then you're sunk. I'm sorry.
Yes, you're right.
These 1 or 2
Actually, sir, what I
people
observed,
will be very
Sir.
skillful. These 1-2 people will be very, very skillful. Yes.
You see, let us understand very clearly.
no, it's not skillful. Sir, actually what I observed, the person who is bringing tea on the table and the driver, these sort of people are the informers to the higher management.
That is what I said, media.
Yes. That is my observation actually.
Yeah. That is the media.
And they will give all ears to these people only. They will not.
And I'll tell you, Mr. Mukesh, you are very lucky that these media channels exist. Otherwise, you would never be able to move forward in your organization.
Correct.
I'm
You're
telling
right,
you.
sir.
Those who can't play this game, they complain that somebody else is getting the job, the promotion and the increment. The person who is getting the promotion and the increment is very good at it. That is why he's getting. You have to be good at something to succeed in life. You have to be good at something. Let us be very clear about it. And there is nothing to complain in any of these things.
You see, these VVIP.
Please let us not have an open discussion. Let us continue with the class. Don't mind. The third point is the 4 keys of relationship. There are 4 keys of relationship for developing a strong ecosystem. Let us see what they are. The first is common bonding, likability, and charisma. You have to bond with the people who constitute your, ecosystem. You have to enhance the likability and charisma of your relationship. I'm not telling you have to be likable. You have to enhance the likability. That means you have to give characteristics to them which will appeal to them. Are you understanding what I'm telling? Everyone has an image in their mind that I want to be like this. That is what you have to project to them. For instance, supposing you're a professional, you have to project an image of professionalism because every professional wants to be looked at as being professional. He does not like unprofessional behavior. So you have to ensure that you put on the best professional behavior in front of him that will be liked by him. He might not like you as an individual, but he has to like what you stand for. And that common bonding is very important. Can anyone give me an example of what I'm trying to tell? There are 2-3 pharma people here. Suresh is there, Mukesh is there, Vinod is there. How do you go to office, Vinod? Can you unmute your video?
Video, somehow it has got.
Okay, so
okay.
What is your dress when you go to office?
With a tie and a neatly polished.
Always with a tie. What will happen
Always
because
in
of
the
that?
suit.
What
Always
will
in the
happen
suit.
because of that?
An image of professionalism. I mean,
Yes.
people will also have a dress sense that this person is interested.
That this person is very professional. What will that create? It creates what is called a presence.
Impression.
Now, what happens? I'll tell you, many managing directors, many very senior level C-suite executives, they come in t-shirts. What is the message they are giving? That it is not necessary for me to maintain the decorum of the office, but you have to maintain it. What will be the outcome of that? Have you observed one thing? All celebrities are always dead.
But I feel, sir, that we lose respect for that person because he's expecting from us to be in the decorum, but he himself is very lousy in that, maintaining that decorum for his organization, for his own company.
Correct. Now you see, where you are in office, you are talking to someone.
So Mark Zuckerberg is always in t-shirt and jeans.
That's okay. That is Mark Zuckerberg's way of maintaining decorum. And you see, I'll tell you one thing. After a certain level, it is not Mark Zuckerberg's dress which is going to decide what he's going to do. We can say Elon Musk. Why you can take another great example. Why Mark Zuckerberg? There is someone I will give you even bigger than him. Can you tell me?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, Steve.
Always in jeans and a black t-shirt. Right? Do you know how many of that type of jeans and black t-shirt he had? Can any one of you tell me? I will tell you. He had 300. Same type of jeans and same t-shirt. Manufactured by one single person in Japan. And it was his idea to Steve Jobs, you use this as your permanent dress. Are you aware of this?
No.
Go and check it.
No, interesting.
Again, that is branding. Again, that is branding.
One more thing is there, sir, but in the interview when it is asked why you are dressing like this, he says that I don't have time to think what I have to wear.
You see,
so I am wearing the same thing every day.
You see, what I'm telling is, all these things are conscious decisions which are taken by people to create a particular image. Now, there is another person who dressed the way you wouldn't want to be caught dead. Can you tell me? Mahatma Gandhi, do you want to be caught dead being dressed like him? You wouldn't want that. But that was his thing. Now, another person, Jawaharlal Nehru, immediately you think of a topi, a rose, and a, what do you call it, pigeon. No, these are all branding. We need to understand that. You see, this is all to create a common bonding, a likability, and a charisma. This has got nothing to do with anything else. That what I'm trying to tell is that you need to be aware that that has to be done. Second thing is two-way value. A branding will be successful in an ecosystem only if there is two-way value. What is the meaning of two-way value? They have to benefit from you first, and you will have to benefit from them. If any one of these fails, the channel will break. Because if they don't benefit from you, they will not want to continue the relationship with you. And if you don't benefit from them, you will be wasting your time. You know, we saw a service, offering service. Why? What is signature service? Signature service tells you where you should spend your time, with whom you should spend your time. If you are not going to benefit from that person, then it goes against the sixth principle, that is signature service. If you spend time with that person, then automatically you are creating a weak link. Then in your SWOT analysis, your signature service will appear as a weakness and a threat. So it has to have a two-way value. There is no other way out. Unless you have a two-way value, you will not be able to build a strong ecosystem relationship. That brings us to the third. Continuously, you have to be in communication with them. Consistency is the key to building a relationship. If you are not consistent in your behavior, if you are not consistent in your messaging, you will not be able to build a relationship with the person. So ongoing communication, finally, you have to manage this relationship in the sense you have to constantly ensure that the likability and charisma of common bonding is maintained. You have to ensure that both of you are able to offer and exchange value. There has to be a constant ongoing communication between the two of you directed towards mutual benefit. Only then the relationship is being managed correctly.
So actually, one senior executive has said half the decisions are made in boardroom and half the decisions are made in washroom.
I think I would like to contradict that person. 100% decisions are made in the washroom and then validated in the boardroom. Because boardroom is too dangerous a place to speak out your mind. Okay. Now, then you should know how to leverage the ecosystem. What is leveraging ecosystem? Playing politics. You should know how to leverage the ecosystem. You should know how to give the correct message to your partners. You should know how to nudge them into passing on that message to your key clients. You should know how to ensure that the key clients are kept satisfied so that the organizations are happy. So knowing how to leverage the right ecosystem is very, very, very important. Now, the next thing is, what do others say matters more than everything else, because it determines your reputation. That is why leveraging of the right ecosystem is very important. You should have an ear to the ground to know where the gap between the brand identity and brand image is taking place. You cannot leave your ecosystem alone just like that. If you leave it, you are in trouble. Because you are driving a particular identity. If a different image is being created, you should know why that is happening, where it is failing. And finally, your ecosystem, remember, is your marketing team. One of the biggest complaints today people have is digital marketing does not work. Correct or not? You know what is the conversion rate of digital marketing? Does anyone know here?
No, sir.
You see, of the total leads, you'll be lucky if 7% you get to touch base with. And of the total 7% that you touch base with, you'll be very lucky if you are able to convert 2 to 3% of it. What is 2 to 3% of 7%?
2.1.
0.14%?
0.2, yeah.
Huh? Do you really think it is worth spending so much money on this? This is one of the reasons why digital marketing is an extremely tough thing. For the simple reason, it does not work. Ecosystem is your marketing team. If you can manage your ecosystem properly, you can market anything under the sun. Anything under the sun you can market, you can achieve anything. You know, as they say, people believe that digital marketing is good. So, you know, they like their advertisements coming and everything. Now, how many of you read all the forwards and posts in your WhatsApp? Huh? See, you are laughing.
I don't read, sir.
No one reads. Okay, now how many of you read all the ads? Forget all that. In the last 1 week, tell me one particular ad that you remember that you have seen on Facebook.
Actually, sir, the digital information has increased so much. There is so much of distraction that the recall is very poor.
If the recall is not there, then what is the meaning of the ad?
Yeah.
What is the meaning? Newspapers today have got 16 pages, 17 pages, 4 pages are given for advertisement. Do anyone read that? You hardly skim the headlines. Whenever an ad comes on TV, you switch the channel.
Correct.
In YouTube, ad 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, change.
Yeah.
No, where you are seeing anything?
Correct.
And you are depending upon all these things to drive your business. How will you do business then? People talk about content marketing and this and that, you know, marketing this, what marketing? Nobody is seeing anything. Nobody is hearing anything. Nobody is listening anything. All that is happening is people are charging tons and tons of money for these courses. People are going and joining there and getting absolutely disgusted. Now, there is one, I think Rehan is doing marketing, digital marketing, isn't it, Rehan?
Yes, sir, I'm doing, sir. Yes.
So how are you finding it?
Yeah, it is quite challenging, sir. Yeah, it is the same you are saying about.
Okay, so you see, but if you can manage your ecosystem properly, if you can focus on a few people to drive the whole thing, only thing is, you see, those few people should benefit much more than you benefit from them. That is the first rule of ecosystem management. This two-way value sharing, you know, once you are in a position to give them total value, they will give you value. And if, you know, one person is able to convert one more, your game is done. You're through. Now let us move on to the next one.
Arun sir,
Yes.
this is Prashant.
Yes, which Prashant?
Prashant Korde.
Okay.
So basically in the ecosystem, I was curious to understand the role of virtual media, such as Instagram, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and all those things. Because all the ecosystem entities that you mentioned, they are all physical means, but is virtual world is also contributing to influence your ecosystem.
That's what I told you, na. You see, as per research, 7% of all leads. Yes, but Prashant, keep your video on. See, 7% of all the leads that you generate, you will be able to touch base with. For instance, let us say you are releasing an ad or something. You are calling for some attention on the virtual media. On what are there? Facebook is there, LinkedIn is there, Google, your Instagram, WhatsApp, okay, Twitter. Let us say 100 people click on your ad and submit their data. Not more than 7% of them are serious players. For instance, let us say you are releasing an ad on DocEasy. It is a very beautifully colored ad showing a person holding his heart with lot of red color coming out or everything to show that he's having serious heart attack. Who do you think will click on that? Who will click on it, Prashant?
No, I mean, it depends on how you project.
However you project it, who all will click on it?
Nobody, especially.
No. Lots of people will click on it. Yeah. Lots of people will click on it. But please understand one thing. Who is your target audience? Target audience are those people who you feel should come to your platform for healthcare, isn't it?
That's true.
But then you mean to tell me all that color, content and everything will only impress those people who are sick and who want to come into this platform? And who told you that the decision makers are the patients? The decision makers could be somebody else other than the patient.
Yeah, that's true.
Then, now for the decision maker, this picture will not carry meaning. For the person to whom this picture will carry meaning, he is not the decision maker. That itself cuts off 50%. Are you understanding what I'm telling?
Yeah, in all the cases, that may not be the right audience, but some cases like retail channels, right?
That's what I'm telling you. You see, what happens is survey research has shown that 7% of all leads get converted into quantified leads. Now, these 7% conversion is 2 to 3% of that 7%. Now, what happened?
So it's
That
not
means-
worth putting efforts there. That is agreed.
That is what is happening. You know, Facebook has raised the price. Today, a single lead in Facebook is costing you 150 rupees. Check up.
That's true.
A single good lead in Google costs you 300 rupees. In a day, if you get 3 leads, you have spent 1,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees in a month for 90 leads. And what is the conversion rate of the 90 leads? 6 leads. What is the conversion rate of the 6 leads into business? 2% of that. Where are you?
So, sir, in that case, maybe this particular channel is not good for selling the stuff or conversion of leads, but probably for some other things. Say, for example, if we are interviewing few people, so they are always checking our website.
You see,
they are
Prashant, I'm not going to get into a discussion what for it is good, what for it is not good. This is here, we are on this platform to discuss how to drive our personal brand identity. We are not selling anything here.
So basically, you are saying.
I'll tell you one thing. Today, you click anything and everything under the sun. You will find Sri Sri Ravi Shankar's Tattva products on huge advertisement. Okay. Outcome. On one side, you have this firm. On the other side, you have Baba Ramdev. Take your choose, pick it. Who went in for digital marketing? Who went for branding, personal branding? Here is a man wearing a langot, doing yoga, has bet even Hindustan liver hands down.
Sir, which means offline ecosystem is more powerful than online ecosystem.
Very ecosystem anywhere is very powerful. You know, we can create an online ecosystem also, which is very powerful. But that is a way of doing it. But then that is ecosystem, that is not digital marketing. No one says you can't. We are going to be discussing online ecosystem, how to create it. I'm going to show you today how to do that. What I'm telling is depend on ecosystem, not on digital. Digital marketing is, you know, is something like carpet bombing. You load a plane full of bombs and give a direction, fly in whichever direction you want, and after 30 minutes, drop all the bomb. Will you be able to harm your enemy? But ecosystem management is focused. Totally focused. What did Baba Ramdev do? He started doing yoga and telling those people कि ये दंत मंजन use करो, दांत अच्छा रहेगा. No, Guruji बोल रहे हैं. The dant manjan became famous. He started telling ye ghee khao, so Patanjali ghee became famous. He said Patanjali ka urad dal khao, Patanjali ka urad dal became famous. So what did he do? He drove through his personal ecosystem. He did not depend upon digital media marketing. It's a different issue. Now he releases ads and other things. That's okay. Once you have attained a leadership position, you know, once you have attained authority, to maintain authority, to continue awareness is a good strategy. But you cannot attain authority by creating an awareness. That is not possible. Digital media marketing is you are going, just imagine, Prashant, you have released an ad today. Okay. You know, it is the normal, it is said, I think that a person is exposed to over 60,000 ads in a day. How many do you remember you saw today?
Max 2 or 3.
Do you tell me which one you saw? See, you are searching.
Today I haven't seen anything.
So you see, then that science is wrong. You don't remember. Now tell me one thing. You saw something today which you don't remember today. After 3 months again you see it. Will it have any impact on you?
No.
Then what happened to digital media marketing?
But continuous bombarding will make.
How will you continuously? You mean to tell me continuously you open Facebook every day you see the same ad?
No.
Then
I don't see. Yeah, that's true.
That also is not happening. You got the WhatsApp. Do you when I see the WhatsApp everything? No, only 1 or 2 people who are very important to you. Maybe Rajendra Sapreji's you will see, or you might see Nitinji's, or you might see Prashant Dediaji's, you might see. Otherwise, you will not see anybody's. Then what is the use of sending it to you? You know that share is there, na? हमें मालूम है जन्नत की हकीकत, लेकिन दिल बहलाने को गालिब, ये ख्याल भी अच्छा है. हमने भेज दिया WhatsApp में, सबने देख लिया, मैं बहुत बड़ा आदमी बन गया. That is fine, but that is not reality. But when you have a well-defined ecosystem where the spheres of influence are very well defined, you know who it is that you have to focus on. You know what value you have to give that person to get that person to reciprocate. You are maintaining an ongoing communication one-on-one with that person, and you are building a relationship. If that person goes and touches one other person, your support base increases by 100%, 1 to 2. Are you understanding what I'm telling?
Yeah, absolutely true. Because in our case also, like 90-95% is a repeat business. We have to maintain the ecosystem.
Yes, you see, for simple thing is getting a new client is 7 times more costlier than retaining the old client.
Right.
That is what statistics say.
Yes.
It is 7 times more costlier. The English saying is there, a bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush. But in today's world, a bird in hand is worth 7 in the bush. because a new bird is going to cost you 7 times more.
That's why they spend more on CRM.
That's a different issue. CRM again is a totally different issue. In my language, it comes under bribing. Okay, so now we come to brand strategy. The first point is clarify the transformation you provide. Be very clear who you serve, what transformation you provide. Because, in creating the ecosystem, you have to be very clear in your mind who you want in it. That is why we were discussing now the sixth point, signature service. This signature service will help you to clarify the transformation you provide. You will know who to spend time with. You will know what assignment to take. You will know what to prioritize. Build relationship capital. Don't be a hit and run person. Once you find someone good enough, build relationship with them. Have you observed, Sanjay, that I am constantly keeping in touch with you for the last 1.5 years?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Why? We have never met.
Yes.
In the process, what has happened? You have become a part of my ecosystem.
Yes.
Most of the people here, they have been with me. I extend my fullest time to them. Why? Because I have to give you value if I have to call you a part of my ecosystem. A year back, I did not know Suma. She came into my ecosystem because I invited her into it. When I saw her, I was impressed with her. So I thought that I would like to have her as a part of my ecosystem. She came in and today she has become one of my strongest proponents. Through her, Atul came. So you see, like this, you have to nurture people, you have to nurture relationship and build it. Relationships don't happen by themselves. They have to be nurtured. Build relationship capital. That is your main capital. Human resource capital is the most important capital in any organization. Similarly, ecosystem capital is the most important capital for building a good brand identity. And how do you do that? By telling stories. Today I was talking with Mr. Manda. I was telling him that the brain, works only on stories, nothing else. It doesn't work in any other way. 11 million bits of information are entering into the brain every second, and it's capable of handling only 40 bits at a time. And on a very good day, maybe you will be able to work on 7 of those 40 bits. Given the lopsided ratio of 11 million to 7, what happens to the balance? The balance is all being worked upon by the subconscious. It's creating stories. Why? The brain has got only one function. Can any one of you tell me what is the function of the brain? Can anyone tell me?
To protect the body.
Protection of that.
Storing information.
Targeting.
Storing information and
No, pick up
Only
information which is
function.
only relevant. Pick up information which is only relevant for survival.
Controlling.
It has got only one: survival, nothing else, to keep you alive. And it cannot keep you alive till it knows what's going to happen next. Because at this moment you are alive. You are alive now. The threat is only the next second. So unless it can predict what will happen in the next millisecond, it can't keep you alive. And how will it predict? It will predict based upon the information entering into it and the information which is available with it. It has to bring all these things together and make sense of it. and it makes sense of it in the form of a profluent, story, a story which moves forward. That is what in cognitive science is called profluence. It moves forward. It only understands by telling stories. And when you tell stories of what you represent, what you stand for, you create a massive impact on the minds of people, because those minds are also telling stories. It immediately resonates and your message sticks. That is why, the biggest strategy of driving your identity is through stories. Show the audience what's in it for them. In these stories, show them what's in it for them. Somewhere they should be able to relate. Have you realized one thing? That most of the successful movies, very, very successful movies, all have anti-heroes, heroes who are basically villains with a streak of good in them. Have you noticed it?
Yes.
Why does it happen? It is because all of us have a negative trait within us, and it is the mind's tendency to look at the negative, because the negative is what it has to be careful about. There is a saying, tell me the good news afterwards, but tell the bad immediately. Why? Because so that I can take steps to ensure that that is negated. The brain is focused totally on the negative for the simple reason that is where the danger lies. That is the reason, why the negative in us and in others appeals to us so much. Subconsciously, this is the reason. This being the reason, we need to be able to understand how to show the audience what's in it for them. And that you can do it only by reframing it as a credible possibility. Your story should contain what's in it for them as a credible possibility. You should be able to reframe it as a credible possibility. Ensure that your vision is aligned with your branding. Vision is always very far away in the future. It is not in the immediate future. So your branding should be aligned with far away in the future what you want you to be. And then you have to strategize and grow up. Demonstrate the unique proposition with every story that you tell, with everything you project. Demonstrate your unique proposition. Stop telling statistics. Stop giving data. Tell stories. Even when you are telling an ordinary thing, make it into a story and tell it to whoever it may be. When you do that, you will be able to create massive communicational impact. There should be consistency in it. You should not talk one thing today and talk another thing tomorrow. There is this saying. Now you'll understand why authenticity is very, very important for branding. Why is authenticity important for branding? Can anyone tell me?
For trust, building trust. Building
But
trust.
why is it important? That's okay. Building trust is important. How is authenticity important?
Because brain.
You need not to remember anything.
Huh?
Brain.
You need not to remember.
It is the
Correct. Sanjay, Mukesh ji, na?
Yes.
When
You
you are
need not to
speaking the
remember what you told.
truth, when you are speaking the truth, you don't have to remember it. That is what is authenticity. When you are lying about something, you have to remember what story you have told so that you can repeat the same story. And another thing I'm telling you, when you are lying, you know what will happen? Your story will be very accurate, always. You will ensure that the story is very accurate. When you are telling the truth, the story will vary. One thing, in the passport, in the airports, they check. They don't check to see whether you are looking the same. They are checking what is not the same. Because a passport photograph can never be what you look like. See, these are some of the things which we need to know. Authenticity is important because you don't have to remember what you told last time. For that, because consistency is a key factor. If you're not consistent, your brand identity will collapse. You should be accessible, relevant, and trustworthy. You can't say that I will be available to you and not be available. You should be accessible at all times. There can be no personal time for you. Get feedback about reputation, not from words, but from action. See whether the ecosystem is responding correctly to you or not the way you want. If the ecosystem is not responding correctly, that means the brand identity is failing. You need to find out what is failing and correct it. Get experts involved in the content creation. Everyone is not an expert at everything. You might be an expert at something, but somebody else is an expert at brand creation. Take his help. Don't hesitate. Because ultimately you need to benefit. Don't be hung on your ego. Take the expert's help and create the content necessary, create the sound bites necessary. Learn to create the signature stories so that you can communicate your identity correctly. Know which lane you are going in and stay in it. Don't waver from that. For instance, if Mr. Vinod wants to brand himself as a specialist in sales, at no cost should he waver himself from that and associated areas. He can expand his brand to associated areas of sales like segment identification, geographical mapping, and all these things, but he should not go into something else. He should stick with his lane. Connect it to purpose and values. Connect your brand to the purpose and the value it stands for. Show them the value, what selling is, how it is valuable, what does it really mean. Don't be apologetic. Show it in the true color. Finally, play for the long haul. Don't play for the short haul. Branding is not something which you are going to be able to do it tomorrow. If you start today, 1 to 2 years down the line, you will be known very well for what you stand for. But this 2 years, you will have to put in your best effort, all your effort. For that, discipline is needed. Any questions?
So branding is a long journey, continuous process.
Totally. Branding does not happen overnight, Sanjay. But if you don't brand yourself, start branding yourself, the world will brand you, and that will happen overnight. When people give you a bad name, that is instantaneous. The day you become a threat to your colleague in the office for the promotion, he will brand you. Correct or not?
Yes, yes.
But if you brand yourself right from now, he will not be able to brand you. Because the moment he tries that, your current brand identity will get strengthened, because they will say, yeah, this fellow has got an ulterior motive for running Sanjay down. So definitely, Sanjay is becoming a threat for him. So they will brand him. That is the advantage.
That's
Now, I want to know from you, how will you go about implementing your strategy? How will you go about it? You require an ecosystem.
Yes. You start.
You have created your anchor statement. You have identified your unique selling proposition. You know what personality you bring to the table. What are your strengths? You know what your energy, what you stand for. You have your signature story ready. You know what signature service you are giving. You know the 14 states, which are your strengths and your weaknesses. You have a plan of, further taking your strengths to the next level and negating your weakness. How will you implement all these things? To whom will you clarify it? How will you build this capital? To whom will you tell the story? Do you have any idea? Are you all awake?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes it may happen, when the person is talking in the same tone, you simply nod off. Koi baat nahi yaar. Then you'll say, koi baat nahi. Video to aayega, dekh lenge. No,
So
you
it has
see,
to be articulated as per the who are
but
the
where is the ecosystem to do it?
ecosystem is there already there, no?
Where?
Where you're moving your that is your ecosystem.
Where?
Suppose if you are in a company or in an organization, then
Yes, all those things are there.
yes.
But do you realize you have got a very powerful ecosystem on your hand currently?
The
Can you
group
see it?
members. The group members.
Yes. Can't you see? You have 20 people sitting here.
Correct.
Huh? People with like-mindedness, with a very clear objective of what they want to do. So what do you do first? You see, here you give and take value, correct or not?
Yes.
Just imagine Bala is there. Now he must be having at least, say, 10,000 people in his catchment area. Mukesh has got 10,000 people. Alone Mukesh has got 10,000. Alone Bala has got 10,000. Mukesh and Bala together have got how much now? 20. Add to that Nitin, another 10. Then Shyam, another 10. Do you realize how big an ecosystem is existing here? And each one of you are interested in building your brand.
Correct.
Now you can exchange, you can give value to him and take value from him. Because how does it matter if the 10,000 people Bala knows get to know Mukesh? How is it going to affect Bala? It's not going to affect him. If the 10,000 people that Mukesh knows, they know Bala, now how is it going to affect Mukesh? It's not going to affect him. Correct or not?
Absolutely.
So
Yes,
now what
sir.
you should do is, you have got 4 big platforms in front of you. Other than whatever, you have got in terms of your office and other things, you have got WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Open an account in all these. Transition these people onto it. And each one of you bring your catchment area into those groups. Bala can create a group based upon what system administration expert. Am I right, Bala?
Yes, sir.
System administration, the science of system administration. He forms a group. A science of system administration. He brings all these 20 people and others also, any one or two, whoever is important to him, who he feels can drive his ecosystem, he brings on board. Now, each one of you bring on board your ecosystem into it. There will be a duplication. Don't worry about it. Just bring on board. Then start activities there. The activities there will be, for instance, all those people who are interested in your catchment area, like, Govinda Swami sir is there. There might be lots of people that Govinda Swami sir knows as an MSME leader who would be interested in system administration. He can bring them. Then, what happens? You can create a narrative. You can create a narrative. What is a narrative? What is a narrative?
It's a story. So,
correct. Narrative is a story. Nothing else. Narrative is simply a story. What are the three narratives, as far as I can see, based on which the current government is standing?
Abrogation of 370.
It's narrative. It's a narrative. This is specific incident. This is an action, a reflection of that narrative. What is the narrative?
that jam is one. Jam, that Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, and
that is again an expression of a narrative. Identify the narrative.
Hindutva.
The integrity of the country.
No. A nationalism.
Nationalism. Sanjay caught correctly. Nationalism. That is the narrative. This is a government which is nationalistic in nature. It stands for one India. So what is the flip side of the narrative? Anyone talking against it is anti-national. Hassa. So you see, a narrative can be very powerful. Now what is the next narrative? The Jan Dhan Aadhaar is an expression of the narrative. What is that narrative?
Inclusion of the people in the financial system.
Good governance. Good governance. That is correct, Sanjay. Good governance. Money going directly into the. So, are you understanding what I'm telling?
Yes.
So you see, now you create this group and then start creating the narrative. How do you create the narrative? You start putting sound bites. We discussed, na? David Jones, that sound bites, 5 different types of sound bites. You start putting those sound bites. Then you align your activities. You start discussion. You start a clubhouse discussion. You have, you bring onto the platform 3-4 people. And then, maybe, Bala can create this, the science of system administration, and then bring on platform 3-4 business leaders or, professional people with acclaim, with good exposure, and then start a discussion. Why is system administration important in the new normal? Then he calls speakers to come and give speeches in his platform, invites people, sends poster. The science of system administration is having this sort of a speech on so and so date. All the people register for it. What will happen? People will register. All the people who are in the group will register. You don't require their number, but 2 or 3 from outside will also register. Now you see, you start getting feeds. Slowly it starts expanding. Now just imagine Shyam is shouting at the top of the from the roof on the top of his voice about Kengen. All that he has to do is create Water for Life or something like that, a group, transition everyone, bring health conscious people onto it, Start conducting seminars and group discussions on how water is important in life. What will happen? Awareness will get created. With the creation of that awareness, mindset starts getting created. People start telling things, and then 70% of what we tell we believe, 10% of what we hear we believe, 20% of what we see we believe, but 70% of what we speak we believe. So instead of his telling water is important for life, he should get the group members to tell water is important for life. Over a period of time, what will happen? Asham, acha, that water man. That's all. Branding is complete. Now, when he speaks on water, everybody sits and listens. Are you all getting my point, what I'm telling? A mild yes will be very helpful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
At least I will not fall asleep.
Yes, sir.
You see, you all need to help each other. In addition to what you are going to be doing, all these things you are going to be doing in your office, sit down, create 7 circles, concentric circles. Write down within that circle who are your immediate circle of influence, the second line of influence, the third line of influence. Be ruthless in identification. You might find that your wife does not even come into the 5th or 6th circle of influence. Don't feel bad about it. My wife comes in public, not even in acquaintance and catchment of acquaintance. Okay, but that's okay. She can be public and still my wife. I'm okay with it. So you identify who is your immediate circle of influence. There is a saying in Hindi, Ghar ki murgi dal barabar. You are willing to pay 300 rupees for a murg musallam outside the restaurant, but when it is the same thing is made at home, you will say, "Are thoda namak kam hai." Okay, so you see something like that. So what I'm telling is, be very, very meticulous in creating this. And then immediately, like, Vinod has already created, but he has not been able to take it forward. What, Vinod?
Fully not.
Huh?
I have not been able to provide consistent content to that. I have to.
No, but you have to, otherwise what is the use? What will happen is they will all get bored.
Yes, yes, yes.
Start something, start, identifying what you want to say, how you want to say it. Now, put all the members of this group in it and request them personally, talk to them. You see, they are all in this platform now, Vinod. They all know you, you know them, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But have you spoken to them?
Not yet.
Then speak to them, telephone to them, take time with them, and then you speak to Atul, you speak to Suma, you speak to Mr. Rajendra Sapre, you speak to Mr. Prashant, request them, all those people in your catchment area who would be interested in selling carrier, who would want to know how to do selling in the new normal. Can you bring them onto the platform? Tell me how I can help you. Reach out. Ask and you shall get. Arey Baba, listen. Even a baby has to cry, otherwise mother does not give milk. How do you think you will get without asking?
I keep asking, sir.
Huh?
I keep asking.
I know how many telephone calls I receive.
Not from you, from the others. I call Bala, Vinod and all,
No, that's what I'm telling. Now, what I'm suggesting is all of you open and start. Okay. Once you do that, you will be able to move forward. It is 11:30. We will take a 5-minute break and then we will move forward. Something is wrong today with my thing.
Nagi Saab always agile, active. Always fit and fine.
I just received a message in the afternoon.
Oh,
Will it be feasible for you to address us? It is from Police Academy, Hyderabad.
very good. Hyderabad near Shamshabad.
I don't know where they want. It was a WhatsApp message. Yeah.
I know very well. I know a couple of people there. So it is very close to the airport, Shamshabad. It is one of the more prestigious academy, police academy.
There is the Police Academy is the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Police Academy. All the IPS guys get trained.
Yeah, so all IPS officers are trained there. You know, you get a lot of acquaintance there. All IPS officers. It is a most prestigious, you know. I visited that place. My 2-3 friends were there. They were all IPS officers. I visited them. Beautiful academy. Beautiful. Now I am retired. I have totally disconnected this, that.
You don't look like a guy. You are still very active.
Okay. Thank you, Mukesh.
पंजाब में पानी है जी पंजाब में पानी है जी
अब +70 है हम लोग
Mukesh ji, technically otherwise even I am retired.
Mukesh ji, from which place you are?
Sir, my lineage is from Multan.
Bhopal?
Multan, Pakistan.
Multan. तुसा
महाराजा नागरेड्डी महाराज
तुसा कितना वेंदे पे हो?
You came back from Delhi?
Yeah.
आप मुकेश जी दिल्ली से हो? दिल्ली हो?
मेरे सब रिलेटिव दिल्ली में है, but I born in Delhi but brought up in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh.
Bhopal, हाँ. Bhopal is a very nice.
Job in.
Very
साहब नंबर नहीं दिया आप.
Very nice place, Bhopal. So Arera colony, you know.
Arera colony, yes. I am in Arera colony.
I visit there, all VVIP there. One of my real mama, he used to be chief secretary, then he was vice chancellor Sagar University also.
Okay,
Mr. Malik Baldev, you know, he is also from this similar area from where you are.
Okay. Eastern Pakistan. Western Pakistan.
Actually, I wanted to ask.
You see, we are from, you know, Pakistan where all Pathans are there. So we migrated from there, Peshawar, that side.
Peshawar, yes. Peshawar,
all Hindu Punjabis are 90% are migrated from Pakistan.
Absolutely.
90% people, rather 100% people are migrated only.
Yes.
Either they were butchered or whosoever survived, they came.
From here to India.
Sir,
Mr. Nagireddy, you were about to say something?
No, I was about to say. The
हाँ,
mood is
बोलिए,
Mr. Mukesh. Anything?
आपको तो शिमला का पानी चढ़ा हुआ है. Hello.
Oh, finished. Time is over.
या नागी जी का शिमला से, हिमाचल से लगता है चेहरे पे हाँ नूर है.
Mukesh ji, may remain in touch.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Thank you.
नंबर जरा शेयर करो ना मुकेश जी आपका.
मेरा मैं शेयर कर देता हूँ.
चैट में जरा.
It is already there, yaar. In our group, it is there, na. You can get anybody's number when you are in this group.
No, without taking permission, I don't want to call anybody, sir.
No, you are always welcome. I will just.
You can
Actually,
take liberty
with my little known Hindi, what I can translate from Mr. Shyam. Jara share karo na apna number. He wanted the number to become a line or something.
सही है सब.
So Mukesh, the moment I say Mukesh, the moment I say Mukesh, immediately comes the tag Ambani. How far you from him?
Anil ji, this Nagar Reddy Saab is a very great,
very
great and friendly person.
Very active person. So he can stand for one of the party also, some election in future. I am sure. So
he will definitely.
Sir, Anil sir, आपके मुंह में शक्कर.
No, you are very suitable person, Baba. Very, very suitable. You have a lot of interaction with everybody.
Anil ji, I sent my sir, I shared my number. If you could see.
मैं देखा साहब, मैं देखा. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया साहब.
अच्छा, let me note down.
So can we start now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we will come to the next part. See, we have tried to understand the brand ecosystem, your ecosystem, through which you are going to be establishing your brand identity. You have seen the basic strategy of going about establishing it. Mainly, it is clarifying your brand identity in the ecosystem. How you are going to do it, mainly through telling stories which will project the various values and purposes of your brand in a consistent manner, in a way in which it will help the people who constitute the ecosystem. You will slowly try to graduate the people in the farthest corner of the ecosystem to become your partners, that is, bring them closer and closer. This you are going to do by driving your brand identity by a handful of people who will be your partners, who will be the nearest to you. Through them, you will be driving the whole thing, and slowly you will be graduating others into the closer inner circle. While you are doing this, there will be a time when you'll have to expand your brand to keep your narrative going. Because you see, the same narrative, if repeated for too long, can become boring. So you have to improve upon your narrative and accelerate the movement of both the brand in the current ecosystem and expanding the ecosystem. So this expansion and acceleration will go hand in hand. So you do it in three ways. Number one, you create new customer segment. Currently, let us say Mr. Rajendra Sapre is an IoT specialist. What new segment can he create for himself, which will be aligned with his current area of expertise, which will help newer type of people to come into the ecosystem? We will see the examples. How does he expand his product portfolio? Today, he is offering Internet of Things as a product portfolio. how can he expand it? See, using the Internet of Things in various other verticals is not an expansion. It is not an expansion of the product portfolio. It is the, application of a particular product in different segments. That is not equivalent to expanding the product portfolio. You are only expanding the usage of the product. The third is, how do you close the gaps in need fulfillment? Brand expansion is a very popular way. So how do you do it? First thing, what do? You analyze and expand into new products and services which are aligned to what you are currently doing. Let us see how to do that. Unless you do it, you will not be able to cover the entire universe of your ecosystem. What are the brand expansion tactics? The first thing, transfer of a benefit element. What sort of a methodology you can use? Say, for instance, let us say, we know this is a salesperson. He is now currently talking about selling tactics, sales management. What can be one of the expansions that he can do? How to use implicit learning methodologies to sell to customers. He can bring that as a specialization area. Okay. He can influence decision makers within and outside your company. How you can use your newfound understanding to pitch for something else. For instance, a sales specialist can expand into a segment of segment mapping. How to do segment mapping? IoT is a segment. How do you map it? Or, ionized water is a segment. How do you map the customer segment there? These things Vinod can bring into it because he is basically a sales manager. He does this. He can expand that expertise into these areas. How to profile a customer. Customer profiling is very important in sales management. He must be doing it. So he can teach people how to do that. He can project himself as an expert in that area. Or, service to customer is a very important part of sales management. He can expand his brand to customer service. What are the allied areas he can transfer the benefit and create a new segment for himself? He has got 10 people following him in sales management. If he can create 2 more for customer mapping, 2 more for customer profiling, 2 more for customer service, now he has got 16 instead of 10. There has been a 60% growth. The second is transfer your expertise. What is it that you can transfer your expertise to? What you can do, for instance, let us say now Bala is into systems administration. What can he transfer his expertise to other than system administration? Yes, Bala, what do you think you can transfer your expertise as a system administrator to?
I can transfer the expertise of supplier management.
Very good. Vendor management.
Yeah, vendor management.
What else?
Supply chain management. Similar activity.
Quality management. Quality management.
Quality management.
Excellent.
So you see, allied fields, those which are connected to it. Now what happens? In system administration, you have got 10, you find 3 for quality management, 2 for vendor management, you got 15 people. And at the same time, you see, sometimes you talk about system management, sometimes you talk about vendor management, sometimes you talk about quality management. What happens is there is no boredom. And at the bottom of it is the same expertise which is there for all this. Are you understanding, Rajendra ji, what I'm telling? Tell me, what is it you can think of that you can change your IoT and your background, this Internet of Things background to?
I'm thinking actually.
Project management.
I think basically the analytics part of it can be applied to things beyond just Internet of Things data. That's how.
Data analytics, big data analytics, focused analytics.
True.
You know, big data analytics oftentimes can lead to infobesity. People can drown in data. You know, you can create, you know, modules for focused analytics. You can create, you know, you can use this, your expertise in Internet of Things and understanding of technology to waste management. Is it possible?
Yes.
Reducing waste in an organization? Because waste constitutes 26% of the total, you know, revenue generated by a company. 26% goes down waste. So you see, when we plan these things like this, you will be able to expand and you will be able to do it. Pooja, can you think of something where you can use your expertise? Okay, Sanjay, can you think of some place where you can use your expertise, expand?
The only way is where the product, the process automation can be told, like how it can be effectively utilized.
Anything other than process automation, something aligned with it as a spillover where you can offer expertise.
Process restructuring.
Yes. Restructuring process.
Digitizing.
Digitizing.
Process optimization, all these things.
Okay. Now you are getting the hang of it, isn't it?
Sir, one thing I want to ask you is this product, in this brand expansion, like you had mentioned about his example of IoT. So product scalability in the market is a consequence or an effect of brand expansion? Or it could be both?
You see, product expansion means you are coming up with a new product.
No, scalability, sir. Scalability in the market. Like you sell more numbers.
Yeah, I understand. But that's why I said, you see, we are talking about a new product being introduced, not existing product sales being augmented.
Okay.
We are not talking about existing product augmentation. We are talking about a new product coming in. You see, when we are talking about a product, we are not talking about a physical product per se. We are talking about your brand identity. You have got an identity as a process automation expert, right?
Okay.
As a process automation expert, you have got 10 people following you.
Okay.
Now, how can you apply this process automation expertise to an allied area, which will be a new product? You will appear as a new product with a related thing. For instance, I'll tell you, it is something like a brand expansion is Colgate and then Colgate Total.
Okay.
Are you understanding, Sanjay?
Okay, sir. Understood.
Colgate Total. Then Colgate with salt. Then you have got Ayurvedic Colgate.
So basically similar parallel streams sort of thing.
Yes, similar, you see, product similarity will be there. The foundational similarity will be there, but it will be a new product stream.
Okay, understood.
Brand extension.
You are expanding your customer base.
Brand extension.
Brand extension. That is what it is, brand extension.
Okay. Right.
Okay, Sanjay is a process automation expert who also provides process restructuring services.
Okay.
So now 10 people are with Sanjay for product automation. 3 have come for process restructuring. So that makes your catchment area how much? 13 instead of 10.
Right. So 30% increase.
30% increase.
Right.
So your brand value increases.
Okay.
For instance, you see Apple started off as a computer desktop company, right?
Yes.
Today it is more known for phones, mobiles.
Yeah. Mobiles.
And you see, while they were at it, they also went into music industry. See, these are the 3 areas they succeeded tremendously. Where did they fail? They failed in TV. They wanted to go into TV entertainment also, where they failed. So you see, but you keep on expanding. Some cases you succeed, some cases you fail. But overall, the number of people associated with the brand keeps increasing. The ecosystem keeps expanding, and with expanding ecosystem, the benefits keep expanding.
With the backward and forward integrations or something like that?
No. Backward and forward integration is totally different. You see, for instance, Reliance started off with textile, went into fiber, then went into petroleum byproducts, then went into petroleum. That is backward, totally is going. But at each segment, it is a totally different segment altogether. Here, Govindasamy sir, for instance, you are into manufacturing, right?
Yeah.
What benefit can you give? What extra can you brand yourself as? That you will have to see. What is your area? What is your area of expertise? How you want to brand yourself? And then what extension you can offer on it? You could possibly give, and the extension could be as a startup specialist. You can help people who are interested in setting up factories. Because you already have set up a factory and you are a manufacturer, you can provide that as a brand extension.
Yeah, okay.
Transfer of expertise. Then you come to use the current customer base. How do you use the current customer base for a better purpose? How do you use the current customer base for a better purpose? This is called upselling.
Upselling, yeah.
You have got a customer buying 100 rupees. How do you make him buy 200 rupees? Then you have got cross-selling. The same customer is buying toothpaste today. You also make him buy toothbrush. You have got a customer who has come to you for process automation service. Along with that, now you sell to him process restructuring service also.
Yes.
The brand has expanded.
Yes.
You have, what is your personality? You have got various personalities. We have seen those 4 personalities. How can you use the expertise of this personality in a different way? For instance, my understanding of cognitive science and my experience of corporate, I brought it together and started giving programs which will benefit professionals in handling management problems better through the science of cognition. That is again, using my expertise in a different way. My using my understanding of cognition to give impactful program online and drive implicit learning. That is using my understanding in a different way. You see that all my programs have as a foundation two things. What are those two things?
Corporate
Cognitive
experience
science.
and cognitive.
Yeah,
science.
cognitive science. Second,
Implicit learning.
my corporate experience.
Corporate experience, sorry. Yeah, right.
Nothing else. You see, when I talk about ecosystem, what am I effectively talking about? Corporate politics. See, I would not have survived as a CEO for 26 years. I would not have reached that position if I were not good at playing it. Unless I am good at playing corporate politics, unless I know what I should talk to my secretary or my boss's secretary, I would not have got promoted. What I have done, I'm translating it into a theory. Are you understanding what I'm telling? See, at the foundation, what I've done is I am transferring my knowledge, experience in one area into another. And change the competition. By changing your brand identity, you are changing the competition. From business owner, you become a coach. Now, business owners are no more your competitors. And coaches can never become your competitor because you are basically a business owner. You drive your coaching as a business. For instance, let us say, now let us take Mandarji, Mr. Mandar Bhargava. You know, he is a hands-on maker, a fixer. He fixes problems. He does things by himself. He is today an employee writing programs which will help, you know, corporates schedule their projects, create milestones, create monitoring systems, and be able to track the progress of that process. Am I right, Mr. Mandar? Have I got your responsibility correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now he is an employee. So now he has got, you know, there are very many ways he can handle his future. Let us look at it as a case study. He can become a consultant, right? Then what does he do? He goes and meets his ex-clients, clients of his company where he was working in this position. He goes and meets them for business. Correct or not? Isn't that what, if Mr. Mandar is planning to start something of his own, this is what will be in his mind, isn't it? These 10 companies I have created programs for their projects. They are all doing very well. So if I start a consultancy, they should be the people I should target first. Am I right or wrong, Mr. Mandar?
Yeah, you're right, sir.
Can you think of any other way you can do it by which you will change the competition?
So right now, not thinking about it.
I will tell you, let us assume for a few moments. Now let us take Bala. He's a systems administrator. And he has been working in this company only as a systems administrator for the last 20 years. He suddenly feels, wow, I've been working for too long. Now I should become a consultant. Who will he approach? He will approach all the people who have done business with his current company. Am I right, Bala?
Yes, sir.
Can you think of some other way by which the same consulting you can do by changing the competition totally?
By changing the competition totally.
Yes, the competition, your competitor has changed and your consultancy has become secure. See, when you go and ask for business like this, what will happen? You'll be competing with other people who are giving service to that company.
Yes, sir.
So you are number two. They are already giving the service. How do you beat them? And when you do this, they will identify you as a competitor and attack you. But here is there are strategies by which you can change that. For instance, I'll give you an example. You start giving programs on system administration. When you start giving program on system administration, you are signaling your expertise to a very wide audience. Out of 100 people coming to the program, if even 2 people are impressed, you have got 2 customers, you did not have to go to them, they came to you.
Yeah.
Are you understanding how, like this,
Yes,
there are
sir, yes, sir.
various ways of doing it.
Okay.
So basically here you are expanding your expertise.
Changing the competition. You are redefining competition. Now you are a trainer.
Okay.
As a trainer, you are showing your expertise, and then what will happen? People will automatically come to you. Many consulting offers I got only through my, these programs which I am giving. Many people have retained me because they came, they attended, they saw some sense in it, go back, see my LinkedIn profile, read about it, then talk to me and then say, sir, can you help me? It starts. Otherwise, where will I go and search for them? So what did I do? I changed the competition.
Sir, in brand expansion, we can go from offline channel to online channel as well, no?
Yes.
So where does it fall under these 5 group?
Which 5 groups?
In these 5 reasons, or is it in the competition part? Change the competition part.
It doesn't fall anywhere.
So
brand expansion, you see, brand offline, online is a channel.
Yeah, channel. So if we change the channel, we can expand our brand. Who are more?
No,
more
when you change, see, you're not understanding what I'm telling. You are see, there are 2 things, Sanjay. One is brand augmentation, the other is brand expansion.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
Going from offline to online, Colgate total remains Colgate total. It does not change.
Okay. So it's only in numbers, actually.
It's only in numbers you are changing it. You from 100 units, you are becoming 200 units. That is augmenting the sales of the brand.
So it's more aligned
augmenting return. Here is a totally new product.
Okay. So the other one is actually product scalability. This is changing the product. Yeah.
You're totally giving a new product. You see, when I am giving a training on branding, I am giving a totally new product based upon my understanding of the corporate world, my experience of branding, my interpretation of branding, and my understanding of cognitive science.
Yes, sir. Understood. Understood.
I have used my corporate experience and understanding of cognitive science, which are the 2 unique things which I am giving, which I have, into creating a new product.
Right.
Any questions in this?
Sir. Mr. Arun,
yes.
Sir.
Yes.
With regard to my case, how can I change the competition, sir?
We will discuss that separately.
Okay.
That is not here. Individual, we will discuss separately. Call me tomorrow, I will discuss with you. No issue.
Very well.
Okay.
Great.
Now we come to brand awareness and brand authority. What is brand awareness? Brand awareness is just like what it sounds, making the public aware that your brand exists. That is what, is putting posts on LinkedIn and all these things, is to create a brand awareness. The other is brand authority, refers to a company's ability to shine as a leader amongst the competition at hand. For example, Rank Xerox is a leader in photocopying machine. Walmart is a leader in, malls. Surf is a leader among detergents. Kleenex is a leader among tissues. Band-Aid is a leader among adhesive, plasters. Like that, they are absolute leaders. They have become synonymous to the product that they own. Steve Jobs is a personal brand as a leader. Everyone knows it. Bill Clinton, he's a leader. Barack Obama. So you see, how do you create leadership? Brand awareness is not very difficult to create. By consistency, by constantly being at it, you can create brand awareness. But creating brand authority is an altogether different game. How do you do that? You first identify a niche. What is it that is highly niche that you are going to cater to? Then you go in for a content strategy. What is the messaging that you are going to be giving? In this niche market also, what message do you want to give? And then blindly share everything that you have in that. Totally share it. Don't look at money. Don't look at anything. Simply start distributing it. Because unless, you see, if you are a real expert, you will have so much material with you that you can always monetize it later. That you don't have to hurry at all. You simply keep giving. Create content strategy for whatever you have and start distributing it. Right, left, and center. Share everything that you know about it. Actively participate in every aspect of it. Focus on a few specific topics only in that area, in that niche area. For instance, let us say you are talking about this Kengen water, ionized water. You have selected that, lot of water purification is there. You have selected this particular mode. Now create good content for it. And then start sharing it right, left, and center. Don't worry whether you are able to create any sale or not. The problem starts when you start sharing with a view to selling. That is where the problem starts. Because for every sharing, you will start looking at the return on it. And this will pull down your enthusiasm to share. It will pull down your relationship quotient. It will pull down the expansion of your brand. But if you share because you want to give benefit, you continue to give all the information constantly, then what will happen? A time will come when people will get convinced that this is the right thing because you are doing it without any expectation. Focus on a few specific things. Don't try too much. Just take 1 or 2 points and then start sharing details on that. Supposing, let us say, Kengen water is good for the microbiome, population in the gut. Just focus on that. How it is good for the intestinal flora, what it does for the intestinal flora, why intestinal flora is important, how intestinal flora affects the health. Just continue on that. Drive it totally. Be consistent totally. Don't be inconsistent. Don't jump. Don't get carried away by any other information. If you can do this, you will create your brand authority. Once the brand authority is created, everything else follows. It's a long-term game, so you have to be very consistent.
So this focus on a few topics is after the brand expansion. Once the brand expansion is over, then
No. See, all these things happen simultaneously.
Okay.
You see, the brand expansion is continuing. You see, for instance, Sanjay, today, your focus is on brand identity, right?
Yes.
You have created your brand identity. Having created the brand identity, what is the next step?
I had to nurture the ecosystem.
Understanding your ecosystem.
Yeah.
Who is at which sphere of influence? That you have to understand, isn't it?
Yes.
Without understanding who is in which sphere of influence, how will you be able to drive?
Yes.
So you understand who is at which level. The third
is now the brand expansion.
Enforce the strategy.
Okay.
Start clarifying to the ecosystem your brand identity.
Okay.
Ensure that you create a two-way value system with the key stakeholders, that is your immediate partners. Start creating a strategy for building a relationship. Define the relationship with them. How you are going to benefit from them, how they are going to benefit from you. Create stories to drive this message. These stories should contain elements of what will be beneficial for them, what's in it for them. Then drive it consistently. Once this is done, you are well on the way to establishing your brand identity, but even now it is not established.
Okay.
In the process, you have created an ecosystem. Now see what are the things you can do by which you can leverage your current expertise and your current ecosystem and expand your brand identity.
Okay.
You are a process automation expert. Now you could possibly move into process restructuring. So you offer better value to the current ecosystem. At the same time, invite people from outside this ecosystem into the ecosystem through the new offering.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what do? You use your understanding to identify what niche is available to you to target. You target that niche. You see, for instance, I'll give you an example of myself. I started off with my corporate experience by giving a program on business mitigation protocol when the COVID hit. Then when I came in contact with people who were impressed and they said, sir, can you help us? And then what I did, so immediately they had seen only my business mitigation protocol. So they wanted programs on business side. So I started giving employee engagement, value proposition, value chain analysis, sailboat analysis, business essentials. You know, there was a series of programs for business people. Have you attended any of those, Sanjay?
Actually, I came to get introduced to you only in the last stage, just before that, creativity and innovation.
Okay. Then what happened? Then when that ecosystem was created, I found that it was a very heterogeneous ecosystem. So what did I do? I decided that I will go in for my core strength, cognitive science. But I did not call it cognitive science at that time. I had a program which was called the reptilian brain. I started using that. I started using reptilian brain. From there, I migrated into creativity, innovation, design thinking. From creativity, innovation, design thinking, I entered into branding. And now you see, I have found my niche. Now they want me to give an extended program of 75 hours on cognitive science and storytelling, because storytelling is the basis of cognitive science. You see how the whole thing is being traversed?
Yes.
This is how you have to do it. You have a core expertise area, but that core expertise area might not be appealing to people. Now, as a process automation expert, what can be the segment that you can appeal to?
Fintech.
It is tremendously limited, isn't it?
Yes.
Now you will have to see what is your real strength. Is it process automation or what? What is the core expertise required for process automation? How that can be applied to different fields? How you can leverage it?
Okay.
That is where your brand expansion and acceleration comes in. That is where your brand awareness and authority comes in. Are you understanding what I'm telling?
Yes.
You see, the whole purpose of creating an extensive, workout on brand identity is to help you to understand your core areas. By working on these 7 points of anchor statement, unique proposition, tone and personality, signature stories, signature services, brand energy, strengths and weaknesses, what you have done is you have dissected yourself totally.
Yes.
And this dissection will help you to understand what you are, what you want the world to know. Now you see, maybe many things about you must have become obvious to you. And you must be wondering, why the hell did I behave this way? It was not necessary.
Yeah.
See, that means what? When you feel that you need not have behaved this way, it was not necessary, it automatically means that you have created a wrong image about yourself in somebody's mind.
Yes.
These are the things which you need to correct. Once you correct it, you will be well on the way to creating a very impactful presence. Brand is nothing but presence.
Presence in the minds of people.
Yes, presence in the mind of people. The moment they hear Sanjay Thomas, oh, the picture should immediately come in front of them. Any questions, friends? It is
No, sir. No, sir.
It's 12:25. We had decided from 9:30 to 12:30. So at last it is over. Now I have a small request from all of you. Please put your
Yes, sir.
name as you want it spelled on the certificate in the chat box, so that I can create the certificate and send it to you. The receipt for your payment will also be sent to you in that name.
Fine,
Unless you
sir.
want it in some other name, you can tell me. And what I'm suggesting is, Shrikantji, you can just put it on, not in this chat box, but in the WhatsApp group. Okay, another thing is, you see, let us all work together, and each one of you, whatever help you want, please feel totally free to reach out to me. Let us create the correct brand identity, and let us help each other creating our ecosystem.
Right, sir.
Whatever, Mukeshji, whatever you want to project yourself as.
Sure, sir. I will get back to you.
Yeah, get back to me. You have got 20 people here. If each one of you help each other, I can tell you, you can create a wonderful ecosystem with people of your specialization in it, and you can definitely scale it up in a very big way. Going forward, it can be monetized in a very, very beautiful manner.
Done, sir. We will do it.
Huh? Anything else, or can we call it a night? Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot for your patient hearing.
Let us call it a day.
We can't call it a day. That would be Rahul Gandhi's way of doing it. We have to call it a night. and too small a man to try his level of, verbal acrobatics.
He's also creating his brand identity.
Very true, sir.
He is a classic case of being branded by the public.
Brand image is overtaking.
Yeah, he's been totally branded by the public. And you see, he himself is telling, yeah, you people may call me Pappu. He himself is telling now. To such an extent, public have branded him.
Sir, there is one question.
Yeah.
Okay, so there were 3 points, I think, out of those 14, where probably you were going to explain those a little bit, like this marketing, distribution, deliver capability, and expressed and articulate.
Yes, that is what all this is.
Uh-huh.
Marketing and distribution is the ecosystem.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's what the relationship actually.
Relationship is totally that only. Delivering capability again is your, same thing there only. The strategies what we have been discussing about is that only.
And so discussion on the online aspects. I think we couldn't. Online.
See, I'll tell. What is the online aspect? We were discussing that you should create a, a WhatsApp group. Okay, you are on LinkedIn. Add all these people to the LinkedIn group. Send connect requests to them. Get them onto your LinkedIn. Similarly, if you are on Twitter, get them onto Twitter. You are on Facebook, get them onto Facebook. And now the 20 of you start driving. For instance, you post something. They will all like it. They will write a comment on it. What will happen? It will go viral. Are you understanding what I am telling, Sanjay?
Okay. Yes, sir.
See, what is the biggest problem? If I like your post, my catchment will see your post. If I don't like it, they will not see it. Supposing, let us say, I got 1,500 people following me in my LinkedIn account. You post. I like that post. Now these 1,500, this will be visible in their news feed for them. I comment on it, it will be available in their news feed for them to see. If I don't comment on it, I don't like it, in my news feed, it will not go. So you see, if these 20 people were to support each other, that whenever a post comes, they come and like it, they comment on it, it will start building. And your image, your brand identity will get transferred into the mind of the people into a brand image. The same thing for Facebook. What you constantly like will come in your feed. Otherwise, it will not come. That is how it works, isn't it?
Yes.
Now in WhatsApp, you create a group, you have discussions, you have seminars, you have interviews, you have presentations. Let us say you are doing a presentation on process automation. Rehan shares that poster with 20 of his people. Vinod shares it with 20 of his people. Now 40 people are aware, 40 people are getting that poster, isn't it?
Yes.
Out of that, even if 2 come, your catchment increases by 2.
Yes, yes.
And then you invite Rajendra Sapreji for an interview. You create a poster and post it. Are you understanding, Sanjay, what I'm telling?
Yes, yes.
You invite Rajendra Sapreji for an interview on your WhatsApp. You create a poster. You take Zoom time and you say that 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, we will be interviewing an IoT expert on the application of IoT in the new normal. You both discuss. I'm going to ask you these questions. What questions you want me to ask? What you would like to answer? Finalize, then come on the stage and have an interview. Then what will happen? It will be an opportunity for Mr. Rajendra Sapre to showcase his talent on your platform.
Yes.
To all your friends who will come because you have created that group, all of them will come and watch. If even 50 people watch now, 50 people know that Mr. Rajendra Sapre is an IoT expert.
Yes.
He reciprocates by calling you on his platform and saying that Mr. Sanjay Thomas, who is a process automation expert, will be interviewed. Are you understanding what I'm telling?
Yes.
This world of ecosystem can be summed up in one simple statement. Can you tell me what that statement is?
It's a small word.
Huh?
Help each other to grow together.
That
It's a small word.
That is what is called, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Okay.
नाना पाटेकर का डायलॉग याद आ गया, तू मेरी खुजा मैं तेरी खुजा हूँ.
Yeah, that is right. So you see, I can tell you one thing, this will be a fantastic, you have got a beautiful platform, leverage it. You see, getting friends, getting like-minded people is very difficult, Sanjay. Very, very difficult, I'm telling you. When you get them, hang on to them like you will to a straw when you're drowning. You've got a beautiful group of people here. There are some extremely accomplished people. You can all, I would suggest you should, without delay, open your WhatsApp pages, windows, and start driving it ruthlessly. There is nothing to feel, ashamed or inhibited or anything about it. Remember one thing, only a crying baby gets milk. Otherwise, mother will not give milk to the crying baby also. That is how much maternal feelings are. It is a known fact. Can we call it a night?
Yes.
Absolutely, sir. Yes.
See, I'm not making that mistake. Okay, folks, thanks a lot for the wonderful time we all had for 7 days. Okay, and I will definitely, please put your names in the window. I will create the certificates and the receipt and send it to you. Please reach out to me. Any doubt you have, any help you want, don't hesitate. Okay, and if any of you have not been able to access, and if any of you have difficulty in accessing your video, maybe it's because of the email ID someone has put today. I think Bala had put. I will change it. Tomorrow you will get it. Okay?
Right, sir. Right, sir.
Good night, folks. Thanks a lot.
Good night. Good night, sir. Thank you very much.
Good night, everybody.
Wonderful
Thank you.
session.
Thank you.
everyone.
Good night.
Tom, you can talk to me
Good night,
tomorrow
everyone.
about your Kenyan water thing.
Definitely, sir. I will get back. In fact, I was about to call you today. Then, I had some commitment. That's why. I'll call you tomorrow.
I hope you have commitment every day.
Definitely, I have.
Yeah, that's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then,
No, but
okay, bye-bye.
when I'm free, I would like to talk to you. That's why.
Please, you're most welcome, most welcome.
Great,
Anytime.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Sunil.
sir.
Thank you.
Good night.
Wonderful
Good night,
session.
everybody.
Good night, Bala. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to everyone. Thank you.